Graffiti.
Yeah, we like to, give a little mixture of what we do.
Yes,
And, our guest
yes.
is definitely needed in the
KR,
building
man.
today.
KR's in the building,
Yes,
y'all.
KR in the building.
Man.
Hello.
Graffiti, man. Graffiti. We love that graffiti,
Yeah,
man.
boy, yeah.
In the building,
In
man.
the building,
He got some
KR.
magazines out here. He got some graffiti on it. Man, we had to bring back some more graffiti, man.
Yeah.
Cornbread. They.
Our very
they
first
cool.
guest was Cornbread, which is your friend,
Yeah,
Good friend of mine, real good friend of mine.
But
graffiti artists.
let's just let him formally introduce yourself to the world.
Yes.
Everybody out there, who you is.
Oh, on the streets they call me KR. KR, aka Knight Rider, Cool Robinson. That's what I am. I'm the graph head on the streets, running a publication called Graph World Magazine, which is a magazine that's pretty much based around the Philadelphia hip hop scene and culture, as well as different parts of the world.
Wow, that's
Whoa,
beautiful,
man.
y'all. That's hip hop. That's what I'm talking about. When you mess with the Sloppy Copy show, you realize that we bring you that real hip hop. My man is the graffiti artist that bring that hip hop live to you on the set, on the walls, on the trains, on the paper, on the floor, on the hats, everywhere. You know what I mean? That's real hip hop. That's graffiti. You know what I mean? So, question: how did you get started? When you realized that your hand was the deadly weapon?
My career pretty much started in the early '80s, but it didn't really pick up until the '90s. I had a real good year in '94. The passion was always there since the early '80s, and which is the reason why I started a publication in '04.
Wow.
And again, it's surrounding the entire hip hop culture in Philadelphia. Now, there's people say there's 4 elements of hip hop, but I'm gonna go with 5.
I beg to differ. It's 10.
10. Okay.
Yes.
10 now.
Would you like for me to name them?
now.
Let me name my. Can I name my 4?
Yeah. Name your 4.
Of course, there's hip hop.
Right.
There's breakdancing, DJing, and graffiti. The one I added was fashion. So that's my 5th element of
Nice.
hip hop.
Okay.
You got 10 of them. Wow.
We got our 10.
You got that. You got beatboxing.
Okay.
You
Okay.
got the DJing.
All right.
And like you said, the fashion and clothes, that's something. The
MCing.
swagger, the talk. And we added the visuals.
The visuals to it.
The
Exactly.
camera, the lens, behind the scenes. That's what is part of the hip hop. But let's get back to this graffiti, man. It was an art form because King Hans was out there doing this wall right back in the day too. When hip hop was down, I was writing MB, Nasty Boy, Nasty Boy Sane. I was writing Bad News. I was writing a whole bunch of stuff on the walls back then in the subways with a friend of yours named Ronsky.
Oh, my brother-in-law.
Ronsky in the building. Shout out to
That's
the
right. Shout out to Ronsky.
Yes.
It's my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And actually, today is my wife and I's 23rd
Oh.
anniversary.
Congratulations.
On the 23rd at that.
Happy
Oh, man,
anniversary.
I'm glad we got you out there.
Congratulations, homie.
Yeah, baby.
Congrats, Ange.
23,
I'm glad we pulled you away from that. How we do that? How did we pull him away?
Because you know who we are.
We gonna have to get it.
I had
We
to
would've
get
brought her
permission,
with you,
man.
man. We
Yeah,
would've
you should
brought
have brought her with you.
Oh,
Shout out to
she-
Angie. Shout out to my
Shout
girl.
out, Ange.
And the
Respect.
boss.
To my baby.
Yeah, shout out.
Making a special dinner tonight.
Oh, beautiful. So we ain't gonna hold you too long today, bro.
Oh,
Because it's
as
all
long
about
as
that
we,
anniversary
be
thing
held.
going on. We know.
Yeah.
We know.
So, graffiti. How did you get interested in it? I mean, you seen some of the stuff on the wall, you're like, damn, I like that.
I'm from Mount Airy, Uptown, West Oak Lane.
Okay.
Shout out to them, West Oak Lane and Uptown period. Shout out, man. That's where I reside. I picked it up, looking at the tags, the various hand styles of Philadelphia, which is the pinnacle of graffiti.
Okay.
We started this thing. Not the colors, the hand styles was started or originally initiated in Philadelphia. I just started liking it, man, and just being in Uptown and then having the opportunity to move or to go to school in the Northeast is really where I was heavily intrigued.
Did you ever think that this would get as big, graffiti would get as big as it is when you first started?
not until I, noticed that there were documentaries being made about
Nice.
the graffiti scene in Philadelphia, especially. In addition to the documentaries about cornbread, those. It was interesting to me to have that street attention. I thought it was very important. It's just to get that street recognition. It's one thing. I think it's important, especially if you're doing what you like to do or love to do. I love the hand styles, man. It's a way of expression. Not everybody writes the same in Philadelphia. So it's just caught my eye, man, and I never turned back.
Well, who were some of the graffiti artists? Who were some of the graffiti hands and artists that you saw on the wall, and you was like, "Damn, that's dope."
You talking about back in the day? Cats like Raleigh Ness, Husky, Cadism.
Boo.
Yeah, Husky.
Husky, that's my nigga.
Cadism, Bait, Nasty Gnaw.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Jab.
That's Raleigh Ness.
Oh, okay.
Raleigh Ness is AKA Jab.
Yeah, Jab.
I just saw a few days ago Kim, which was one of the first female writers out there, but she got around big time back in the 80s. The list goes on and on, man.
The boy who did the Husky tag.
Yeah, well,
The dude who did the Husky tag.
The boy who did the Husky
those,
tag.
those YBW STK. That's one of my crew members. He came out in like the late 90s. I say mid to late 90s. But if we were talking about 70s, 80s,
right?
Those are the names that pop up to me right now.
Well, when you are creating your magazine, when you're putting everything together, what's going through your mind when you're putting your magazine together, when you collaborate everybody's hits, different areas where they hit up at. What comes to your mind when you're creating this, making this? This is like beautiful, man. This is beautiful.
Well, that magazine you're looking at is autographed, and graffiti spelled AUTOGRAFF. Graph.
Oh, look at the hands.
But yeah,
so what
your question,
goes through your mind when you're doing this? I see cat interview.
Yeah. What we try to do with Graph World magazine is we try to look for we do a front cover edition. Whoever's on the front cover is the person that we feel as though is doing damage. That guy's from Jersey. We're doing damage out there on the streets. So we like to format that cat, whether it's male or female. I shouldn't say that cat. Whether it's male or female on the front cover, as well as an interview on the inside of Q&A. We also do advertisements.
That's hot, man. That is hot. Yes, I love it.
Poetry, whether it's graffiti related or just on the hip hop scene, hip hop type related. Get that off. That's an old 04 magazine. Not as detailed as a color, but I was just trying, man, just doing my thing. Just wanted to stay in the loop.
You're doing it. Anything you do from the heart, it shows and reflects.
Yeah,
and this is the beautiful thing that you're doing, man. It's really love.
May I say this too?
Yeah, no doubt.
I also like to interview hip hop artists that are unsigned.
Oh, okay.
Especially unsigned. I don't want to deal with nobody that's already a star out there. I want to be one of the cats to say, if they do make it big, they can say, well, you know what? Thanks to Graph World magazine. I want to be an outlet as far as helping people move forward in their careers, dealing in the culture of hip hop.
And and that's a positive movement. I'm glad you said that, because that was my next question. What do you do for the community? Because you see tags up all over the wall. I mean, it's not art to me. Some of it's not art. Really, I mean, it's just people, little boys, little girls, whoever, just writing to be writing. But the things I see here in your magazine, this is art. This is a form of art. So what do you say to these young ones out there that's into graffiti? Like, what do you do? What do you say to them that would look at you and say, hey, this is something I want to do? What is it that you can inspire them to do?
Well, number one, you can't stop the bum rush. Graffiti's never going to die. The hip hop culture is never going to die. It's only going to supersede itself. It's like a revolving door. It's going to manifest year after year after year. kids are being born out the womb, babies are being born out the womb. They grow up to be teenagers, and, even before they get to venture off. Back in the day, you don't go off that corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, after that, they get a little older, where as though they can venture away from the corner and they get they explore, man, and they pick up. Some people pick up the piano, some cats pick up graffiti or the hip hop culture,
Wow.
hip hop or poetry or anything dealing with the hip hop culture.
Well,
Now
I know.
hold that thought for a 2nd. We're gonna give Killer Kyle. Killer Kyle, you there? We're gonna give Killer Kyle a chance to blaze the 1s and 2s, because last week we went off a little bit off the segment, and then he went crazy and wild, and we didn't get a chance to let the Killer get down. So we're gonna let Killer Kyle get down on the 1s and 2s, and we'll be back a little shortly, back with KR.
Say
Yeah.
word. Say
Hip hop.
word.
Yeah.